My name is Ryan, a 32-year-old systems engineer working for a mid-sized company. Since graduating from college and joining my current company, I've been leading a pretty busy life. Recently, something happened that made me quite happy. This story began more than 7 years ago. I was about 3 years into the company at the time, and I was overwhelmed with work, exhausted from working overtime day after day. That day, I managed to catch the last train and arrived at the station near my home. Come to think of it, I was so busy that I didn't have dinner. Realizing that I was hungry, I entered a casual restaurant on the way home. It was already 1 o'clock, and there were hardly any customers. I was shown to a seat and started looking at the menu. It's late, but I feel like eating something substantial. I ordered a hamburger steak topped with a fried egg and cheese, along with an all-you-can-drink menu. When I went to get a drink, I noticed a customer sitting in a blind spot. As I poured my drink into a glass, I glanced at the customer. Could they be children? I muttered to myself. At the table were 2 children, probably middle school age or even elementary school age. Then, they got up and came over to where I was. As I was pouring juice, they stared intently at the juice, and one of the children poured free water into a glass and returned to their seat. They indeed looked to be around middle school age. "Here's your water." "Thanks, big bro." It seemed that the 2 were siblings. Why were children alone at a restaurant at this hour? Looking around, there were no adults who appeared to be their parents. The staff member said in a careless and clearly unpleasant tone, "Here's your soup. Is that all for your order?" It could only be taken as a sarcastic remark. "Oh, yes." The staff member entered the kitchen with a curt expression. I also returned to my seat and waited for my order. "Sorry for the wait. Here's the cheese fried egg hamburger steak with soup and French fries." The dishes were laid out on the table. "Is that everything you ordered?" "Oh, yes. Please take your time and enjoy." The same staff member treated those siblings clearly differently from me. When I went to get another drink, I overheard the siblings' conversation. "Ethan, you should eat. You only had 1 bite, right?" "I'm full, so you can eat it all, Brandon." That's the exchange they were having. Just then, the staff member came over and said, "I'll take your finished plates." "Oh, that's..." The staff member forcibly took away the bowl of soup that still had about 2 spoonfuls left. Then, this time the younger brother came to get free water, but the pitcher of water was empty. "Excuse me, there's no water." He called out to the kitchen, but no one came out. He probably heard Brandon's voice but pretended not to. He looked completely troubled. Feeling sorry for the child, I couldn't help but meddle and said, "Excuse me, there's no water." I spoke loudly towards the kitchen. Then the staff member said, "I deeply apologize. Please use this." They quickly brought new water from the kitchen. "Thanks, mister." The younger brother smiled happily. "No problem." Brandon poured plenty of water into 2 glasses and took them back. I've always been a bit of a busybody. I was aware of it myself. "Are you 2 here by yourselves?" I went up to the siblings' table and spoke to them. Their faces suddenly became tense. "Brandon, let's go." The older brother seemed wary of me and tried to leave. Wait. I'm not a suspicious person, so don't worry. This mister asked the restaurant staff for water for us." Ethan stared at me intently. "Thank you for that. My brother caused you trouble." "Not at all. I thought he was quite mature for his age. I was a bit concerned because you only ordered soup." "We don't have money." "I see." Seeing me talking with the siblings, the staff member came over. "Is there a problem, sir?" "No, nothing at all. These kids sometimes come here like this and only order 1 bowl of soup. They gulp down water and only order soup, which puts the restaurant at a loss." The staff member laughed as if looking at something unpleasant. The siblings looked down, feeling frustrated. Even if it's just a bowl of soup, they are still customers, aren't they? But they come as 2 people and only order for 1. Is there a law that says 2 people can't come to a restaurant and only order 1 soup? I got unreasonably angry at the staff's attitude and couldn't help but argue back heatedly. The staff member's face twitched as he disappeared into the kitchen. "Thanks, mister." "Thank you. Why don't you sit down for now?" "Order whatever you like. It's my treat." "Why?" "Brandon, The younger brother was surprised, his eyes wide. I thought it's lonely to eat alone, so I want you to eat with me. Ethan, I'm starving. Are you sure it's okay? Jer, feel free to order whatever you want. The brothers, Ethan and Brandon, eagerly opened the menu, their eyes sparkling as they happily discussed what looked good. I'll have the hamburger steak, the one with the fried egg. Is that okay? Jer, go ahead. I'll have a regular hamburger steak. Hey, don't hold back at a time like this. You can get the same one as your brother, okay? Can we both order the one with the fried egg on top? Totally fine. I rang the bell to call the staff. Are you ready to order? Yes, 2 hamburger steaks with fried eggs and 2 all-you-can-drink menu, please. The staff member seemed confused about what was going on but said, certainly. Please wait a moment. Help yourself to the self-service drink area. With that, they went into the kitchen. Go get whatever drinks you like. Yay. The brothers happily headed to the self-service drink area. Their clothes were dirty and had some tears. Their shoes were worn out, and their hair was unkempt. But they were polite brothers. As they went back and forth to the drink area multiple times, the food was brought out. Looks delicious. Go ahead and dig in. Thanks for the food. Thanks for the food. They both opened their mouths wide and devoured the hamburger steaks one after another. Ethan, it's so yummy. Yeah, it's really delicious. I felt a mix of emotions. Why were these children alone at a restaurant so late at night? What about their parents? I had so many things I wanted to ask, but this was about all I could do for them. I couldn't do anything more, so I refrained from asking too much. The brothers finished their meal in less than 10 minutes. They must have been really hungry. Are you full now? Yes, thank you very much. Seems like you were really starving. I said without thinking too deeply. It's winter break now, so there's no school and we can't eat school lunch. What? Brandon, don't say unnecessary things. I couldn't help but ask now. What about your parents? Ethan and Brandon looked at each other. At home, it's just our mom, and she got sick and can't work right now. Aren't there any adults around you can rely on? Ethan shook his head. I see. We're really thankful for today. We settled the bill and left the restaurant. We hadn't eaten much for about 3 days, so this really helped. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It's late, so be careful on your way home. Yes. The siblings' retreating figures looked particularly sad. In this cold, they were only wearing thin sweaters. Ethan, Brandon. The siblings turned around. I ran up to them and took out 5 $20 bills from my wallet. Here, take this. Huh? We can't accept that. No way. Hang in there somehow until school starts. Ethan's eyes were filled with tears. I don't know when I'll get off work with overtime and all, so this is about all I can do for you. Sir. Sorry. This is all I have in my wallet today. Sir, what's your name? Ryan. Ryan. Thank you so much. Thanks, Ryan. After this day, I met these siblings about 2 more times and treated them to meals at this restaurant. But when I tried to give them money, that was the only thing they wouldn't accept. More than 7 years had passed since this happened. Sometimes, I suddenly remember those siblings, Ethan and Brandon. After that, I lost touch with them and wondered what happened to them. But I didn't know how to contact them, so there was nothing I could do. I could only hope that they were happy. Today, I happened to be in this city on a business trip. With work finished, before heading back to the hotel, I thought I'd walk around the city and have a drink with my meal. It was my first time in the city, and I had no idea what kind of restaurants there were. Just then, a man soliciting customers called out to me. Hey mister, you looking for a place? I guess so. It's a bar, but we're offering the first drink free as a special. How about it? Oh, really? Yes, we just opened recently. It's part of the Simmons Group chain of bars. Part of the Simmons Group chain. That's right. What do you say? I had often heard about people getting into trouble by entering restaurants when called out to on the street. But if it was part of the Simmons Group chain, that probably wouldn't happen. This employee also had a friendly smile and didn't seem bad. I don't really know much about this city, so sure, I guess I'll go there. Thank you very much. The employee seemed to be contacting the restaurant through an intercom. We can show you in right away, so this way, please. I followed the employee. When I entered the restaurant, there were no other customers. It was a typical bar interior, dimly lit, with an atmosphere like an old snack bar. "What would you like to drink?" I answered without even looking at the menu. "For now, a draft beer. And can I get some fries?" Noticing the word nachos posted on the wall, I added, "Oh, and an order of nachos too, please." "Certainly. Thank you very much." At this time of day, there should normally be customers. I found it strange that there were no other customers. If it was part of the Simmons Group chain, there should be plenty of customers. "Sorry for the wait. Here's your draft beer and fries." A typical draft beer and fire were brought out. "Nachos will be out in just a moment." The employee gave a polite greeting and provided good service. Then, the next moment, there was a beep from the microwave in the kitchen, and after a short while, the nachos I ordered was brought out. "Sorry for the wait. This is our specialty original nachos." It clearly seemed like they had just heated it up in the microwave. Rather than having a crispy warm texture, it was soggy from being reheated. Well, that kind of thing often happens at bars, and I figured a little alcohol and something to tide me over would be good enough. After that, I had 2 whiskeys, satisfy my hunger, and decided to head out. "Excuse me, check please." "Yes, certainly. One moment please." The employee responded and went into the kitchen. I couldn't hear the conversation, but it seemed like they made a short phone call. 20 minutes passed after I asked for the check, but no bill arrived as I waited. Is the check not ready yet?" It'll be right out." "My apologies. It sounded like several people had come in through the back door. So sorry to keep you waiting. Here is your check." Seeing the amount on the bill, I understood everything. Why there were no other customers. Why several people had just come in the back door. Why it took so long to calculate the bill. Everything clicked into place. The total is $5,000. Is this a mistake? I had a draft beer, 2 whiskeys, fries, and nachos. That's it. And you said the first drink would be free, right? Yes, that's correct. Please look closely at the bill. The bill listed, draft beer, complimentary, whiskey $1,600 x2, fries $400, nachos $400, seat reservation $1,000. That's right. This was a complete rip-off bar. They probably lied about being part of the Simmons Group chain to make customers let their guard down before luring them in. For now, not wanting to pay such an amount, I started to argue in vain. Isn't there an extra digit? Even with an extra digit it's expensive, but no, there's no mistake. This is the amount for what you ordered and consumed. No way, I can't pay that kind of money. Well, it'd be a problem for us if you don't pay. We'd give you that first drink on the house, as promised. I don't have that much cash on me right now. We accept all major credit cards at our establishment. Credit card? I didn't happen to bring one today. Is that so? If you insist, then I guess there's no choice. Rough-looking men with intimidating faces emerged from the back of the kitchen. If you can't pay this amount, you'll have to talk it over with these guys in another location. One of the men forcefully put one foot on the table, making a loud noise. I apologize. They're a bit short-tempered. Don't use such rough behavior in front of a customer. It was clearly an action meant to threaten me. So what'll it be? We'd like to settle this peacefully, but I don't have a credit card, and I'm not carrying that much cash. Then, shall we go to an ATM together? ATM. If you withdraw the money there, you can pay, right? Well, yeah, but I made a show of looking reluctant. Hey bro, you think we're just gonna wait around while you take your sweet time? Huh? The employee, who had been quietly dealing with me, suddenly transformed. Their true nature finally showed. If you keep dragging your feet, you might find yourself in a world of pain. Got it. So what you gonna do? Huh? No matter how I thought about it, I judged that I had no choice but to pay here. Fine, I get it. Guess I have no choice. Let's go to the ATM. You should have just said that from the start, you moron. The employee signaled to the rough-looking man with his eyes. Get up. We're going, you bastard. I was grabbed by both arms by the rough men and dragged out of the restaurant. I walked with both arms held by a rough man on a crowded street. Maybe this was a common sight around here. Some people were looking at me with faces that said, "Oh, another victim." Man, you're pathetic. Why don't you have a credit card? Now I gotta go all the way to the ATM cause of you, you piece of shit. The employee grumbled as we walked. After about 5 minutes of walking, a convenience store came into view. There, go withdraw the money at that convenience store. $5,000, got it. Hurry up, you idiot. With my arm tightly gripped by one of the men, I entered the convenience store. I withdrew $5,000 from the ATM and came out of the store. Hey, hurry up and hand over the cash, you dumbass. I was pretty pissed off, but as I was about to hand over the $5,000, someone called out to me. Wait, could it be? That way of talking, that voice, I felt like I had heard it somewhere before. Ryan. I turned towards the voice. What? No way. Ethan. Behind him were about 10 men in suits who looked like bodyguards. Ryan, is that you? Brandon. When I tried to approach Ethan and Brandon, my arm was grabbed, stopping me from moving. Seeing this, Ethan said with a sharp look, Hey, what's going on here? Eek. Ethan. This is, The employee, who had taken the $5,000 from me, held it in his hand and took a step back. You guys, let go of this man's arm right now. What the hell are you doing, you morons? The rough men released my arms. This man is my savior. Can you explain what you were doing to my savior? Ethan's glare was incredibly intimidating. Eek, we're so sorry. The employee returned the $5,000 he was holding to me and prostrated himself on the spot. We're sorry, we're so sorry. He repeated the prostration and apology over and over like a doll. Ryan, what in the world happened? I came to this city on a business trip. After work, I felt like having a drink, so I was walking around. You came here on a business trip. Yay, and then this guy called out to me, saying the first drink would be free at a bar that's part of the Simmons Group chain. Part of the Simmons Group chain. Ethan glared at the employee and the mafiaman. At the restaurant, I ordered about 3 drinks and a little food. Aja. And then when it came time to pay, they said it was $5,000. Ethan slowly crouched down in front of the male employee. Care to explain what's going on here? Well, that's, I told them I didn't have a credit card or cash on me today. They told me to withdraw money from an ATM, and that's how I ended up in this situation. I just got some information a little while ago, so I rushed over here with my brother. What do you mean? You got information? In order to keep this city clean, there are people who let me know when things like this happen. We have people who are kind of like informants who let us know about these things. One of them told me about a guy who was dragged out of a bar by a mafia with his arms restrained. I see, so that's what happened. But I never imagined it would be you, Ryan. I'm really surprised. But I'm so happy to see you again, Ryan. Me too. I didn't recognize either of you at first. You've both grown so much. I suddenly lost touch with you after that and always wondered how you were doing. We have a lot to catch up on. Ryan, can I have a bit of your time? Of course, I have a ton of things I want to ask you. Seeing that Ethan and the others looked about to leave, the mafia seemed relieved. Just a moment, Ryan. This won't take long. Yeah, sure. Ethan turned to face the employee and the mafia. Now, how should I have you pay for this? You're right. We absolutely can't let this slide. Ethan and Brandon glared with their sturdy-looking men behind them. And to think you did this to my most important savior. I can forgive that. Big bro, why don't we make it so they can't keep running that shop anymore? Everyone's working together to make this a good city, you know. If we let scum like you stay here, it'll never become a nice place. Ethan, who made even the mafia prostrate themselves, just what kind of position was he in now? He had a huge number of unusual men with him too. My imagination ran wild in a bad direction. Surely after we lost touch, he stopped going to school properly, got into more and more trouble, and ended up delinquent. Then he must have risen through the ranks of the mafia with his hungry spirit. Brandon had apparently been working out too, as he had a pretty good build, and both Ethan and Brandon were wearing expensive accessories. I'm not too knowledgeable about brands, but even I recognized the high-end watch Ethan was wearing. It probably cost at least $100,000 to buy. Brandon was also wearing a luxury watch that rivaled Ethan's. For now, take these guys to the office. Please, anything but that, we beg you. Two men who looked like Ethan's bodyguards nodded to him, shoved the employee and Mafia into a car, and took them away. "All right, Ryan. Sorry for the wait. Shall we go? Get a car ready for us right away." Another man behind him nodded to Ethan, and after waiting just 2 to 3 minutes, a black luxury car pulled up in front of us in no time. "Big bro, where are you taking Ryan?" "Ryan, would you prefer a place with girls? Or a quiet bar where we can talk?" I wasn't sure if this was reality or a dream anymore. How had those scrawny Pua brothers changed so much now? I don't really care about a place with girls or a quiet bar, but a casual restaurant. Huh? A casual restaurant? Yeah, when you think of us, it's gotta be a casual restaurant, right? Ethan and Brandon nodded vigorously with big smiles. "That's right, a casual restaurant suits us best." "Yeah, nice idea, Ryan." They may look completely different now, but talking like this, they were the same Ethan and Brandon from 7 years ago. "Ethan, about that employee and the Mafia, I got my money back, so don't be too rough with them. Don't worry, we never resort to violence. We have our consulting lawyer at the office explain to them what crimes they're committing." "Is that all?" "Yes, we make them understand that what they're doing is against the law. It's not that the Mafia can't run a business, but if they're breaking the law, we're just educating them about it." Ethan seemed very mature. "What happened to you guys after the last time we met?" "Our mom passed away." "What?" "That's right. Then the people at the Child Consultation Center introduced us to the man we're indebted to now." "Is this man part of the Mafia?" "A lot of people think he is, and in fact, our mom thought so too. That's why no matter how tough things got, she never turned to him for help. The man is a big landowner around here, like a boss of this area, you could say. So the Mafia would never go against him either. After our mom died, he took us in and we started living in the city. He and his wife doted on us a lot. They didn't have kids of their own, so they really adopted us as their own. After coming to his house, we got proper meals and nice clothes. He even let us have tutoring classes. I graduated from college last year. Now I help out with his business." "I see. What about you, Brandon?" "I played soccer in middle school, high school, and college." "Well, soccer. Brandon wants to go pro in soccer apparently." "What? Go pro?" "Yeah, next year I'm taking a leave of absence from college to go study soccer in England." "Study soccer abroad? In England? That's amazing." The three of us rode in a chauffeured black luxury foreign car to the casual restaurant. "This reminds me of the day we first met. You really saved us back then, Ryan. If we hadn't met you that time, we might have resorted to stealing or other crimes. That's how hungry we always were." "How did you get the money for the soup at the restaurant?" "We'd stick our hands in the change slots of vending machines all day looking for money. We also collected empty cans, and when we had a certain amount, we'd sell them to those kind of dealers." "You went through that much hardship at such a young age." "We couldn't pay the electricity or gas bills at home, so we could hardly use any utilities. For water, we managed somehow by going to parks and stuff. So when you told us to order whatever we wanted at the restaurant, I thought I was dreaming. No meal has ever tasted better than the one we had that time, right, big bro?" "Yeah, it was the best feast we'd ever had." "Remember the day you gave us $100, Ryan?" "I remember. It was my first time seeing so much money at once. My hands were shaking. I'd never held that much money before. But with that $100, we were able to eat something even on days when there was no school lunch. Because we had that $100, we were able to avoid turning to crime. After our mom died and we started living a well-off life with our uncle. No matter how wealthy a life we have now, we'll never forget our days living with mom. We live each day feeling grateful for the life we have now. And I want to become an adult like you, Ryan. Like me. Yes, I want to be the kind of person who can reach out and help someone in need without hesitation." "Me too. We think that's how we can repay you, Ryan. We are thankful that we got to meet you. We used to think there was no one we could trust. It's because you reached out to help us that we are where we are today. Thank you so much, Ryan. We're truly grateful. Come on, you're embarrassing me." Tears spilled from my eyes. Back on that day, the two scrawny brothers shared a bowl of soup. With their electricity and gas shut off at home, there were days they couldn't eat anything. Growing up in those circumstances, it wouldn't be surprising if they developed a warped personality. But they grew up to be adults with such pure hearts. I was happy that I could play even a small part in that process. I really respect you too. You respect us. Why? You went through so much hardship from a young age, but you didn't become cynical. And you grew up to be adults with such beautiful hearts. I respect you, Ethan and Brandon. If we hadn't met you, Ryan, I don't think we would have become decent adults. We probably would have ended up as punks only thinking of doing bad things. The food was laid out in front of us. That's right, hamburger steak with a fried egg on top with all-you-can-drink menu. Thanks for the food. Thanks for the food. Ethan and Brandon hadn't forgotten to feel sincere gratitude for being able to have a meal. Thanks for the food. We enjoyed our conversation as we ate. Oh right, there's one more thing I wanted to tell you, Ryan. Tell me. What is it? Brandon seemed to be grinning about something. Actually, I'm gonna be a father soon. Huh? What? A father? Ethan, you got married. Well, yeah, I did. Hey, wait a minute. You never told me. That's why I'm telling you now. Man, my head's spinning. Well, so Ethan's gonna be a dad. That's amazing. I felt tears welling up again from happiness. By the way, Ryan, are you married? Hey, you were asking me that. Well, are you? Tell me. Forget marriage. I don't even have a girlfriend. What? Seriously? No girlfriend? You got a problem with that. Even I have a girlfriend. Hey, I can't believe you're getting your happiness before me. We burst out laughing. We just happened to meet, and I just happened to treat them to a meal, but now we could have such a great reunion. God was watching over us. These brothers had already been through a lifetime's worth of hardship as kids. I wished that from now on, only happiness would come their way. That's how it should be.